In the murky annals of American folklore, there exists a chilling tale that has endured the relentless march of time, a spectral narrative that sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to delve into the realms of the supernatural. Nestled within the mystic confines of Sleepy Hollow, a quaint village steeped in history, the legend of the Headless Horseman emerges like an ethereal specter from the shadows of the past. Step back, if you will, into the early 19th century, a time when the ink on parchment wove tales that transcended reality. Washington Irving, the wordsmith of yore, penned a masterpiece that would etch itself into the fabric of American folklore. Published in 1820, the haunting saga of the Headless Horseman unveils a tapestry of suspense, mystery, and the macabre. As the sun sets over the rolling hills of Sleepy Hollow, a spectral rider, severed from his corporeal form, gallops through the collective imagination of generations. A tale that transcends generations, a legend that refuses to be confined to the pages of history, a ghostly enigma that beckons the curious to venture forth and uncover the secrets veiled in the mists of time. Join us as we unravel the threads of this timeless yarn, where the line between reality and the ethereal blurs, and the Headless Horseman emerges as a harbinger of both terror and fascination. The legend awaits, eager to ensnare those who dare to peer into the enigmatic depths of Sleepy Hollow. In the antediluvian corridors of American literature, a luminary named Washington Irving etched his indelible mark upon the parchment of literary history. The year was 1820, a time when ink quills danced upon vellum, giving birth to tales that would resonate through the ages. In his magnum opus, The Sketchbook of Geoffrey Crayon, Gent, Irving bequeathed to the world a ghostly gem, a tale that would weave itself into the very fabric of American folklore. Nestled within the pages of this literary compendium, like a phantom emerging from the mists of antiquity, is the spectral narrative known as the Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow. Within the tranquil confines of Sleepy Hollow, a village ensconced in the bosom of the New York landscape, Irving birthed a chilling legend that would transcend the boundaries of time. In this opus of the eerie, Irving masterfully crafted a tale of suspense, superstition, and the supernatural. The narrative unfolds as the protagonist, the bumbling yet endearing Ichabod Crane, finds himself ensnared in a web of terror spun by the spectral apparition known as the Headless Horseman. A harbinger of the uncanny, this phantom rider emerges from the shadows, his decapitated visage hidden beneath a cloak of darkness. Irving, with the finesse of a literary maestro, painted Sleepy Hollow as a backdrop where reality and fantasy converge. Through the skillful strokes of his pen, he conjured an atmosphere where the rustling leaves whispered secrets and the moonlit landscape echoed with the hoofbeats of the spectral steed. As the tale unfolds, the reader is transported to a world where the line between the corporeal and the ethereal blurs, where the Headless Horseman becomes a symbol of the unknown, a phantom that haunts the collective imagination of those who dare to peer into the pages of Irving's eerie opus. Thus, within the confines of The Sketchbook of Geoffrey Crayon, Gent, Washington Irving gifted the world a ghost story that transcends its temporal origins, beckoning each generation to confront the timeless specter of the Headless Horseman and traverse the shadowy realms of Sleepy Hollow. The echoes of hoofbeats still resonate through the corridors of literary history, inviting all to join in the perennial dance with the enigmatic and the ghastly. Journey back, dear listeners, to the twilight years of the 18th century, a time when the specter of the Revolutionary War had faded, leaving behind whispers of a fledgling nation. Our narrative unfolds in the rustic embrace of the countryside surrounding the former Dutch settlement of Tarry Town, a place whose very name exudes an air of antiquity and mystery. The year is 1790, a period where the echoes of history linger in the wind that rustles through the time-worn branches of Sleepy Hollow's secluded glen. This enchanting enclave, cradled in the arms of nature, becomes the atmospheric stage upon which Washington Irving choreographs his spectral drama. Tarry Town, with its cobblestone streets and gabled rooftops, offers a portal to an era where the traditions of Dutch settlers intertwine with the burgeoning identity of the nascent United States. Amidst this historical tapestry, Sleepy Hollow emerges as a verdant oasis, a haven of tranquility punctuated by the whispers of the nearby Pocantico River. As the narrative unfolds, The sleepy hamlet becomes a character in its own right, its idyllic landscapes serving as a canvas upon which the supernatural unfolds. The secluded glen, with its gnarled trees and rolling hills, becomes a theater where the mysterious Headless Horseman gallops forth, blending seamlessly with the shadows cast by the ancient trees. Within the temporal cocoon of 1790, the denizens of Tarry Town navigate a world brimming with folklore and superstition, where the mundane and the supernatural coalesce. The Dutch cultural legacy, evident in the architecture and customs, casts a spectral glow upon the narrative, infusing the tale with a sense of historical richness. In the quietude of Sleepy Hollow, the reader is transported to a bygone epoch, where the whispers of the past echo through the hallowed glen. The setting becomes more than a backdrop. It is a character, an essential participant in the unfolding drama of Ichabod Crane and the spectral rider. Thus, within the pages of Irving's tale, the sleepy countryside of 1790 emerges as a crucible of history, myth, and the uncharted territories of the American imagination. In the enigmatic tapestry of Sleepy Hollow, an ethereal aura clings to the very air, weaving a tale of spectral whispers and otherworldly presence. Renowned far and wide, this hamlet nestled in the embrace of the Hudson Valley is not merely a place on the map. It is a repository of haunted histories and ghostly tales that dance on the periphery of reality. Whispers abound among the cobblestone streets and time-worn structures, carried by the zephyrs that meander through the glen. Residents, with a hushed reverence, speak of a bewitchment that lingers from the early days of Dutch settlement. It is a sentiment that weaves itself into the fabric of everyday life, a spectral shroud draped over the collective consciousness. Some locals, their eyes glazed with the patina of generations, murmur about a town ensnared in the clutches of supernatural forces. According to their whispered legends, Sleepy Hollow bears the mark of an otherworldly enchantment, a lingering spell cast upon the land when the Dutch settlers first staked their claim. It is as if the very soil, saturated with the echoes of incantations, harbors a connection to realms unseen. Yet, in the shadows of superstition, another tale emerges, a narrative woven by those who hearken back to the time when Native American tribes roamed these lands. According to their lore, a venerable chief, the wizard of his tribe, once held sway over Sleepy Hollow and its surroundings. The spiritual imprints left by this enigmatic figure are said to resonate through time, casting a mystical pallor over the landscape. As the sun dips below the horizon and the moon casts its silvery glow upon Sleepy Hollow, one cannot escape the palpable sense of a haunted heritage. It is a place where every rustling leaf and creaking branch seems to carry the weight of unseen spirits, where the past and the present converge in a dance of the supernatural. Join us as we navigate the spectral contours of Sleepy Hollow, a town where the boundary between reality and the ethereal blurs, and where the ghosts of bygone eras continue to cast their haunting spell upon the collective imagination. The stage is set, and the spirits of Sleepy Hollow await those daring enough to traverse its haunted realms. In the nocturnal embrace of Sleepy Hollow, there emerges a spectre that eclipses all others in its ghastly renown, the Headless Horseman, a phantom of unparalleled dread, the self-styled commander-in-chief of all the powers of the air. This ethereal equestrian, draped in the shadows of the supernatural, stands as the very embodiment of the haunted legacy that permeates the hallowed glen. According to the whispered lore that echoes through the time-worn corridors of the village, the Headless Horseman is no mere figment of the imagination. He is said to be the restless ghost of a Hessian trooper, a spectral remnant of a bygone era when the clash of muskets and the thunder of cannons reverberated through the American landscape. As the chilling legend unfolds, the trooper met his grisly fate on the battlefield, his head cruelly severed by a stray cannonball during what history records only as some nameless battle of the Revolution. It is from this macabre genesis that the Headless Horseman emerges, condemned to a perpetual quest for the very cranium that was violently snatched from him in the throes of war. Under the veil of darkness, the ghostly rider is said to mount his steed, a phantom stallion that gallops through the inky night with an otherworldly fervor. The hoofbeats of this spectral charger resound through the hollow, a haunting cadence that heralds the approach of the Headless Horseman on his nightly quest. The enigma of the horseman extends beyond mere phantasmagoria. he becomes a harbinger of doom, an omen that unsettles the slumbering hamlet. Tales are told of encounters with this ghostly equestrian, where unsuspecting souls cross paths with the commander-in-chief of the ethereal realms, and the consequences are said to be dire. Join us as we delve into the chilling annals of Sleepy Hollow, where the Headless Horseman, with his headless visage and spectral steed, emerges as an enduring symbol of the supernatural, a phantom whose legend continues to gallop through the corridors of American folklore, casting a long, shadowy spell on those who dare to glimpse into the haunted history of the Hollow. Amidst the spectral shadows of Sleepy Hollow emerges our protagonist, Ichabod Crane, a figure as peculiar as the haunted hamlet itself. Hailing from the distant realms of Connecticut, Crane cuts a singular figure in this secluded enclave, his presence akin to that of an otherworldly visitor, a wraith among the denizens of the Hollow. Ichabod, a schoolteacher by vocation, is a man of lanky stature, his physique resembling a scarecrow swaying in the autumn breeze. His towering frame, elongated limbs, and a head seemingly plucked from the pages of a nightmarish fable create an impression that lingers in the minds of those who chance upon him. A beak-like nose adds a surreal touch, casting an eerie silhouette against the backdrop of Sleepy Hollow. Beyond the physical oddities that define Ichabod Crane, his character is a tapestry woven with quirks and idiosyncrasies. A voracious appetite, seemingly insatiable, earns him a reputation as a man who indulges in the culinary pleasures of the day. Yet, it is his beliefs that truly set him apart in this land steeped in folklore and superstition. Ichabod, with an unwavering conviction, stands as a devotee of witchcraft and the supernatural, navigating the thin line between reason and the inexplicable. However, amidst the shadows and the whispers of ghosts, there lies another facet of Ichabod's persona, a penchant for the fairer sex, particularly the young women of Sleepy Hollow. Foremost among them is the beguiling Katrina Van Tassel, the daughter of a prosperous farmer. Katrina, with her beauty that rivals the flora of the Hollow in bloom, becomes the object of Ichabod's affections, and their interactions become a thread woven into the fabric of Irving's tale. Ichabod's infatuation with Katrina, with her flirtatious charms and captivating allure, sets the stage for a collision of worlds, where the mundane and the supernatural, the corporeal and the ethereal, entwine in a dance of suspense and intrigue. Join us as we delve deeper into the enigmatic character of Ichabod Crane, a man whose journey through the haunted corridors of Sleepy Hollow becomes a narrative tapestry, rich in eccentricities, superstitions, and the tantalizing allure of forbidden romance. The tale unfolds, inviting us to explore the intricacies of a character who stands at the crossroads of reality and the ghostly realms that define the legend of Sleepy Hollow. In the moonlit shadows of Sleepy Hollow, the stage is set for a romantic rivalry that echoes through the annals of the hamlet's folklore. Ichabod Crane, the peculiar outsider with his scarecrow-like visage, finds himself entangled in a spirited competition for the affections of the beguiling Katrina Van Tassel. His rival in this amorous contest is none other than the local hero, Brom Bones, a burly, boisterous figure whose mischievous exploits add a layer of intrigue to this eerie love triangle. Brom Bones, with his robust frame and a temperament as wild as the untamed landscapes that surround Sleepy Hollow, emerges as a stark contrast to the lanky Ichabod. A local legend in his own right, Brom's swagger and bravado make him a formidable contender in the pursuit of Katrina's hand in marriage. His mischievous inclinations find expression in a penchant for pranks, often targeted at the lanky schoolteacher who has set his sights on the same fair maiden. The bucolic landscape becomes a playground for Brom's antics, and Ichabod becomes the unwitting protagonist in a series of jests and capers orchestrated by his rival. Yet, the most ominous weapon in Brom's arsenal is not his physical prowess or jovial demeanor. It is the spectral narrative of the Headless Horseman that he skillfully wields to unsettle the already superstitious Ichabod. Brom, with a sly grin and a twinkle in his eye, regales the townsfolk with tales of the Headless Horseman, weaving a web of supernatural dread that wraps around Ichabod's already fervent imagination. These nocturnal tales, often shared in the flickering glow of tavern candles, serve not only to entertain but to cast a shadow of uncertainty over Ichabod's nightly journeys through the haunted glen. As the narrative unfolds, The competition for Katrina's hand becomes not only a clash of personalities, but a battle between reason and the spectral unknown. The mischievous Brom Bones, a puppeteer of fear, manipulates the threads of superstition to his advantage, creating an atmosphere where the Headless Horseman becomes more than a ghostly apparition. It becomes a pawn in a game of romantic rivalry. Join us as we navigate the labyrinthine twists of this romantic contest, where the boisterous Brom Bones and the eccentric Ichabod Crane dance on the precipice of the supernatural. The legend of Sleepy Hollow, already steeped in ghostly mysteries, takes on new dimensions as the passions of love and the shadows of the Headless Horseman converge in a haunting symphony of suspense and intrigue. The moon hung low in the ink-black sky, casting an eerie glow over the Van Tassel's farm, where the fates of Ichabod Crane and the spectral Headless Horseman would become irrevocably entwined. The air, thick with anticipation, crackled with the uneasy energy of a night that would etch itself into the haunted chronicles of Sleepy Hollow. Ichabod, fueled by a fervent hope to secure Katrina's affections, attended the festive gathering at the Van Tassel's farm. The jovial atmosphere, however, took a bitter turn as his proposal met rejection, leaving the lanky schoolteacher adrift in the currents of dejection. With a heavy heart, Ichabod reluctantly bid farewell to the revelry, his dreams of matrimonial bliss shattered like glass. As Ichabod traversed the moonlit paths that wove through the hollow, a sudden chill gripped the night. Shadows danced on the periphery, and the very air seemed to pulse with an otherworldly heartbeat. It was in this spectral hush that the Headless Horseman materialized from the inky depths, a phantom rider on a quest as old as time itself. The pursuit that ensued through the winding trails of Sleepy Hollow became a desperate race against the encroaching specter. The hoofbeats of the phantom steed reverberated through the hollow, a haunting cadence that spurred Ichabod's frantic escape. Desperation etched across his features, Ichabod spurred his horse through the gloom, the apparition of the Headless Horseman closing in like a relentless shadow. As the chase neared the old Dutch church, a hallowed ground where legend whispered of the ghost's retreat, Ichabod clung to a sliver of hope. With breathless anticipation, he galloped across the bridge, where the ethereal was said to meet its end. Yet, in a macabre twist of fate, the horseman defied the whispered law, flinging his severed head with an otherworldly force. The ghastly missile found its mark, colliding with Ichabod in a visceral crescendo. The lanky schoolteacher was unseated, his world spiraling into darkness as the spectral laughter of the Headless Horseman echoed through the night. Join us as we delve into the climax of this macabre ballet, where the threads of romance, rejection, and supernatural dread intertwine on the moonlit stage of Sleepy Hollow. The fateful encounter at the old Dutch church bridge marks a pivotal moment in the ghostly tapestry of Ichabod Crane and the enigmatic horseman, a moment etched in the annals of American folklore, where the line between reality and the spectral unknown blurs into the shadows of the hollow. As the sun cast its first hesitant rays upon the haunted enclave of Sleepy Hollow, a disquieting revelation emerged. The vestiges of Ichabod Crane's presence, or rather his conspicuous absence, cast a pallor over the tranquil morning. The once jovial atmosphere now bore the weight of spectral uncertainty. Near the fabled bridge, where the old Dutch church stood sentinel over the winding waters, a perplexing tableau unfolded. Ichabod's horse, faithful companion in the night's ill-fated flight, stood alone, a silent witness to the enigma that had transpired. Beside the loyal steed lay a shattered pumpkin, fragments scattered like the shattered dreams of the lanky schoolteacher, and a lonely hat abandoned to the whispers of the breeze. Yet, of Ichabod Crane himself, there was no trace. His figure vanished into the shadows, leaving the villagers to grapple with an eerie void that defied explanation. The only residue of his existence, a peculiar stillness that settled over the bridge and the old Dutch church, hinted at a presence that lingered in the liminal spaces between reality and the supernatural. As the village convened to decipher the cryptic aftermath, speculation bloomed like wildflowers in the meadows of Sleepy Hollow. Some suspected a prank, a malevolent jest orchestrated by the boisterous Brom Bones. The whispers of the townsfolk swirled with accusations, pointing to Brom's laughter, which echoed through the village whenever the name Ichabod was uttered. A pumpkin, shattered in jest, seemed to bear witness to the malicious mirth that pervaded these nocturnal exploits. Yet, amidst the gossip and conjecture, the old Dutch wives, the keepers of ancient lore and guardians of mystic truths, raised voices laden with a knowing gravity. They insisted that Ichabod Crane had not met a mundane fate, but had been spirited away by supernatural means. The very air seemed to carry the weight of their convictions, as if the spirits of Sleepy Hollow themselves whispered secrets to these wise matrons. In the wake of Ichabod's mysterious disappearance, the tale took on a life of its own, evolving into a haunting narrative passed down through generations. Brom Bones, who eventually wedded the elusive Katrina, perpetuated a cryptic smile that hinted at a knowledge shrouded in the shadows. The legend of the Headless Horseman became a fixture in Sleepy Hollow, a story told in hushed tones, punctuated by the ghostly laughter that danced through the hollow like a spectral waltz. Join us as we navigate the aftermath of this eerie vanishing, where the shattered remnants of a pumpkin, a forsaken hat, and the echoes of Brom Bones' laughter become indelible artifacts in the enigmatic legacy of Ichabod Crane, a legacy that transcends the boundaries of the tangible and ventures into the realms of the unexplained, where the spirits of Sleepy Hollow continue to weave their timeless tales. In the intricate tapestry of Sleepy Hollow's history, one cannot overlook the nuanced details that swirl like phantoms in the mist. As the spectral saga of Ichabod Crane unfolds, there are threads and nuances that add layers to this enigmatic narrative. The shattered pumpkin, a poignant symbol of the disrupted revelry, bore silent testimony to the abrupt end of Ichabod's pursuit of Katrina's affection. The fractured gourd, scattered in fragments near the bridge, hinted at a disquieting intrusion into the realm of the supernatural. Its presence, a forlorn testament to the events that transpired, became an artifact imbued with an unsettling mystique. Ichabod's hat, abandoned in the spectral aftermath, became an emblem of his sudden disappearance. The hat, once perched atop the lanky schoolteacher's peculiar visage, now lay discarded and forgotten. Its position near the remnants of the pumpkin suggested a moment frozen in time, a snapshot of a night when reality and the ethereal collided. The whispers that wafted through the village carried not only the echoes of Brom Bones' laughter, but also the speculative murmurs of villagers grappling with the inexplicable. Brom's amused demeanor, coupled with his subsequent union with Katrina, fanned the flames of suspicion. Some could not shake the notion that Brom, with his penchant for pranks, had orchestrated an elaborate ruse, leaving Ichabod to navigate the spectral labyrinth alone. Yet, in the face of such earthly machinations, the old Dutch wives clung steadfastly to the supernatural. Their insistence that Ichabod had been spirited away by supernatural means echoed through the cobblestone streets like a refrain from the realm of the unseen. It added a layer of eerie authenticity to the legend, suggesting that Sleepy Hollow itself, with its ghostly whispers and mystical aura, had conspired to orchestrate Ichabod's mysterious vanishing. The absence of concrete evidence, the lack of a definitive conclusion to Ichabod's fate, left Sleepy Hollow in a state of perpetual suspense. The legend became a living entity, evolving with each retelling, each hushed conversation by flickering candlelight. In the corridors of history and folklore, the tale of Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman persists as a spectral enigma, a narrative that beckons those brave enough to traverse the haunted realms of Sleepy Hollow. The gaps in the story, the spaces left for conjecture, only serve to deepen the mystique of this enduring legend, a tale that transcends the boundaries of time, where the line between reality and the supernatural dissolves into the perpetual twilight of the hollow. That's all for today, my fellow spooky adventurers. I hope you enjoyed the stories we shared and learned something new and terrifying. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more spooky content. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe icons to get notified when we upload our next video. You don't want to miss it, trust me. Until then, stay safe, stay curious, and stay scared together. Goodbye for now, and sweet dreams.